I am 1 minute late. Sorry for that. You know the drill. The first 10 minutes, drop your location. Let's go. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Tell me if you like my topic so far. I'm spending an inordinate amount of time talking about ruralism. It's a silent but very impactful vice, scourge, pandemic. So let's continue connecting the dots, because I don't want you, or I don't want anything that I say to be lost in context. I want you to relate to everything that I say and connect it to your daily routine. So yeah, Decoder, welcome. Where are you tuning in from? 17 of you are there. Tell me where you're logging in from, or you're tuning in. Nancy Madenge, well, you're saying you're number 2. Mpeketoni in Lamu, James Mwangi Muredi. I've seen some lady on NTV just talking smack about outsiders. I'm gonna straighten her up. Kikuyu Decoder, thanks for tuning in. Odero JK Kenya, Justin from Kirinyaga. You guys elected Waigoro. You guys are jokers. Africa Unite, Dallas, Texas. Wamboi Poli from Abha, Saudi Arabia. Welcome. Shari Karib kama kawaida, Langata. Peter Roimbe from London. Jan Dongo from Kariobangi South. David Mwangi from Roiro, karibu sana. Patrick Munyi from Somalia, Baidoa, karibu sana. Samuel Njero Nyahururu. Baidoa is Somaliland, if I'm not wrong. Feel at home. Muganga, Taita Taveta. That's Maganga, sorry. Maganga is tuning in from Taita Taveta. Taita, who is your governor? Are you holding them to account? Have you been seeing my tweets? I want to focus on governors, but you guys have to back me up. You're not retweeting. You're not sharing my stuff. Huh? I'm tired of these PR shenanigans. Every day is a PR. From governors, from who? Because you allow them. You've told them that they can keep on. Rongo, Antonio Nyango Karibu. You've shown them that you can keep on bullshitting with us and we'll entertain you. Mombasa. Karis Baya, karibu sana. Ezekiel Limo, karibu sana. Nasema for the first time niko kwa your live, huwa napata every morning. Okay. Malindi, Richard Byzantine, welcome. The key is to put a notification. Tuned in from Moy's Bridge, Joel Gashie. I've never been to Moy's Bridge. I love driving, and one day I'll find myself there. I love long drives. Hit like, click share. Where is DJ Yadla today? I can't see DJ Yadla. Kwani DJ Yadla, where the hell is DJ Yadla? So I'm still waiting for you to tell me your locations. You know, that's what we do the first 10 minutes. I need to know how to tune and structure my message depending on your location. Helsinki, Justin, welcome. Feel at home. Meru, Alpha Klinchi, karibu sana. A town with no nightlife. People have to drive all the way to Nanyuki to enjoy nightlife because you elect idiots. You elect morons. Is a town which should be having a lot of circulation of money because of Mera. Ken Muremi stage name KQ013. From Inganga Bombe. Where is that? Mawama kama kawaida, Izmir, Turkey. These are my daily people. When I'm somewhere, I'm just thinking, where is Zilao? I'm doing a disservice for not going live for him or Mawama, or Joe Amisi, Mambai Village, Vihiga, karibu sana. Kwa naambia nani wa Meru ati that these guys elect jokers. Meru is a town that should be having a lot of circulation because Mera is one of those fast crops, fast earning crops you pick, unalipwa kwa shamba, inaenda iko kwa gari. Brayo Master, Kokayole, Kayombotole, karibu sana. So Meru should be having a lot of cash flow, a lot of circulation. So to another day I was in Nanyuki, I was in the Dunda in Nanyuki, then somebody comes and tells me, oh, we have driven all the way from Meru to come for Sherehe. I'm like, yo, you don't have a nightlife. The first sign of a dead town is no nightlife. There's a reason why there is no nightlife in Asal regions, in Mandera, Wajir, because there is, number one, there is no security. Number two, there is no money, there is no street lights. Anthony Njogu, Naivasha locked. So don't be proud of anyone coming to tell you, like, I saw the Kiambu County Commissioner there saying, at those guys who go park and chill in Limuru, in Tigoni, they shouldn't go. Who is he? He's a villager. He should be going to their village. First of all, the person who is doing anything illegal is the county commissioner himself, because the provincial administration was scrapped in the new constitution. Uhuru is the one who forced it. The chiefs, everyone in the province, they don't exist anywhere in the constitution. So before you claim that other people are partaking in illegality, you yourself are in office illegally. You should lay low like an envelope. You should lay low at it. Don't listen. This is urban growth. When people start going, Rahim Tula from Essex, welcome. When people start moving out, you know, that is growth. That is urban. Khartoum, Robbie Ole Shira, karibu sana. Chuka KQ013. Hizo majina zingine ni refu sana. Dharakanithi. Places with no street lights, no life, no what. You guys are just here voting for idiots. You have to be serious. Are you engaging in civic education in your counties? So nati naona county commissioner anaongea anatuambia akiwa nani? Who is he? Mtu arudi kwao aongee hivyo. County commissioner, first of all, is an illegal posting. You're not supposed even to be, you're supposed to lay low like an envelope, not to talk about other people and the stuff they are doing. We are tolerating too much bullshit from these elites, these bureaucrats. These are employees. How can your employee stand up and tell you that you have been banned? You guys tolerate too much. It's time you put an end to it. We only 27 likes, Bana. By now we should be 100 likes. I don't know. Don't know what's wrong with you guys. Kulike ni bure. Yusuf from Addis, feel at home. The home of difficult conversations. We mention the people who you think are sacred cows. Those are the ones we mention. The people who bear most responsibility for our social degradation and fragmentation. The people who have ruined our life as it used to be. Kipchumba Chepkwony, yesterday was his first time. Naona ako locked leo. Karibu sana. Mudomi blah blah blah. Samuel Njero, asante sana. Yo kitu women youth ya huyo PC. Boomers hate young people. Boomers hate anything and where they are seeing young people celebrating and enjoying. That's why if you go to Eastlands, you see all the green spaces, all the playgrounds were grabbed and converted into flats. Because boomers, they hate young people. The moment you realize that you are the majority and these people should not tell you anything. But now, you guys who are boxed in high school, you are fed with fear. You are scared. That's how every regime comes and tells you, if you don't file your returns, and when you go file there, you're already admitting that you've not been paying tax, and now they hammer you twice. Washington, D.C., asante sana. Elijah Owino, thank you for the kind comment. We can now start. The story which is the most hilarious is we've been talking about the guy who was Kibaki is the one who entrenched provincial administration despite the fact that we have a new constitution. Thank you very much, Odongo Odol. At least you understand that these people should not tell us anything. Anatuongelesha akiwa nani? The provincial administration is illegal. Yeah, wao na CAS. Hawa wanajiita CAS. Cabinet Assistant Secretary. Same was up. Anaongea akiwa nani? Anatuambia akiwa nini? Arudi kwao. You're tolerating too much nonsense. Kiambu ni Nairobi. Kiambu ni Nairobi, mtu asituletee umafi yake huku. Peleke huko kwao mashambani. You guys tolerate too much nonsense. From rural bred idiots, rural bred retards. We've been talking about ruralism. We've been talking about the advent, the takeover of urbanization. Yesterday we were talking about musicians. We were talking about, we had an era of musicians who could have stepped up, but then the cartels have they are gatekeeping. The cartels are in the media. The cartels are in the marketing agencies. The cartels are in the corporates. They don't want to sponsor anything. Sikolia from Copenhagen, thank you very much. Bradley, feel at home. Is it wrong to tithe because I never understood you the other? KQ, don't, please, we are serious here. KQ, don't start asking nonsense questions. DJ Yadla ameingia kama kawa kama dawa, he's 11 minutes late. Mwakidedi from Bamburi, karibu sana. Wewe KQ, wacha kuwa, please, I have my topic. Don't start asking nonsensical topics now. Karibu, better late than never, DJ Yadla. Let's do what we do. I think bado uko admin. So, as I was telling you, Azonto from Stockholm, Ahmed Isa, karibu sana, Stockholm, Sweden. Leo we are represented in the Nordic regions. We are represented. Sweden wako na ile drink inaitwaje? Absolute vodka. Absolute vodka is a Swedish drink, and the flavored one, there's a red one, there's a raspberry one. I used to like that drink when I was an alcoholic. Now nimekombolewa katika jina la Yesu. So anyway, yeah, ruralism, we have now rural bred retards who've formed themselves. Is Gevi wa Karano joining from, I used to come to Botswana too much. I used to love Haborone. I used to love it very much. So feel at home, my brother. President of the Gaborone of Botswana Football Association is called McLean Lechwiti. It's a good friend of mine. There was a coach there who was called Stanley Shoane, very good friend of mine. Paul Kemadhi tuned in from Qatar. Thank you very much. JK Kenya, tunashikwa hadi na makanjo bana, shame. The one asking about tithe, tafuta pasta, Clifton Dollar confession about tithes. So umeona hiyo KQ013, you know where to answer, get an answer to that question. Today we are talking about ruralism. We are talking about gatekeepers. We are talking about the people who bear the most responsibility. And I mentioned Simon Kabu because I have seen the people who trend. For instance, Wycliffe from Juja, karibu sana. I see who is this guy. I see mawama anasema Adla anafaa kufutwa. Hapana, ako sawa. Kibet anasema 52 bob ya cabbage za Kaidho lazima atume. Na Kibet amekuwa consistent by the way. Sikosangi kuona yake. Wewe tutapatana tu huko LD, usijali. So Simon Kabu have been seeing his whatever the reward mechanism. Akiona video yenye na trend sasa anaita mtu anakuambia sasa nilimuona na kile kipolisi kiko na tumbo kubwa kinaitwaje, akona huyo kimse kimetoka na huko mashambani. Mwingine anaitwa sijui nani, akona wote. I've seen, and then now it flows over to the media, it flows over to Tuko and the blogs. And so ruralism has crept in slowly. So I don't know whether they were doing it deliberately but we've realized that they are gatekeepers. They are people who don't have or who don't want, or who want to impose their idealism in an urban setting. For instance, you have this idiot called Karen Nyamu, who is saying that Aluta should go. She's trying to impose her biases, her idealism, and she's trying to pretend that she is sanctimonious and self-righteous, that she's fighting a holy war, that she's saving children from a scourge. If you want to save children, can you first start by reclaiming all the grabbed playgrounds in Nairobi? Why do people go to the clubs? Because these idiots called the boomers, they grabbed all other facilities that could otherwise have kept us engaged. They grabbed the social halls, they grabbed the playgrounds. People would be playing football and then they go home because they are tired. You go, you shower, you sleep. But now people are drinking. They're drinking because every other public facility that should have been serving the young people has been grabbed. So you are trying, you're looking at the effect and not the cause. And this is now the problem of electing intellectual dwarfs, because now they are dragging the national collective, with a sterile and very low IQ discourse. I've seen a video of hers. Come on, man. Can't you aspire to finish a project? Can't you aspire to pass a law, a legislation? Can't you, something that we will be remembering you? But people are there, they are tired, they can't go to at home, obviously. Some of them have toxic wives, others have toxic boyfriends or husbands. So you are here, you've gone to drink. And then here you have a senator who has a lot on her plate. There are so many other things she could be dealing with. First of all, she's a nominated senator. She's not even a senator of Nairobi. She only lives in Nairobi. So she's trying to appeal. And I told you, the problem is all the politicians want to appeal to this cluster of old women, wamama wazee, wamama wa kanisa, saa zote. They've become like they are the ones who are influencing policy. We exist for them. Kwani wako na kura ngapi? That's what I've always asked you. Wako na kura ngapi hao wamama wa kanisa? You see, now the old men have congregated kuongea mambo ya pack and chill hiyo ya Limuru. All the old men, because they have no other agenda, they have nothing else to show. So this is the opportunity has presented itself for them to pretend and to act to the churches that, oh, suddenly we are caring. Suddenly we are working. All because they want to deflect attention from the fact that they never do anything, these idiots. You elect guys to be like that Wamatangi guy. Every day he's just launching in a speech in a church. Like, what's wrong with this generation? Are they so what can we call it? Are they so allergic? Are they so allergic to work? Like, hakuna time tutaona Ruto amekaa chini amesema now we are working. Now this is the agenda we have for today. Kama leo ameshinda ati ana auction mbuzi. Leo ameshinda Kamalel auction. Sasa ati hiyo ni kazi. Hiyo sasa ni kazi. Na ataenda nyumbani achoke amesema, "Hey, tumeshinda mbuzi auction." Hiyo ni kazi sasa. What's wrong with these boomers? Can somebody tell me? It's crazy. And you guys keep entertaining them. You guys keep listening to their... And now we were talking, now these rural bred retards. You're talking about somebody like Mwalimu Kingangi. You're talking somebody like Maina Kageni, Simon Kabu. They become gatekeepers, only entrenching and onboarding using their platforms, which are there in public trust. We should not know what is happening behind the scenes. We should not know that usijui uko na cartel gani. That's none of our business. But now you become gatekeepers, where now you become so open, you become so glaring that we can see here there is something. Hapa kuna agenda. Ideally, you should be doing your content or your radio shows or whatever, and we would not even bother. But now you have nani yako into 37 anaitwa Mureithi Kiari yako Thika. Karibu sana. Now because it has become ama mumenyamaziwa sana, now you're becoming more daring. Which is why I told you to look at, number one, the sponsors of Samido, the concert, the launch, that foundation that he had the other day in Parkland Sports Club. Higher. Secondly, you look at the places he's performing, the clubs he's performing, you'll see they are owned by the same characters, the same clowns. So the people who come from the rural area have this mentality that we want to show the urbaners that we are making it in your town. We are the ones who are. Now you have the power, you as the ordinary citizen, to boycott listening to these radio stations, boycott supporting the businesses of the people who are gatekeepers, who are enforcers, who are implementers, who are executors of ruralism. You have the power. And now me, I'm only giving you political cover. I am going to speak in such a way that I will help you connect the dots to the far end so that you can know that this is scripted. Yesterday, we raised the issue about the politicians and voter importation. We were talking about Fred Gumo in Kawangware shipping people from Kitale and whatnot so that he can be the kingpin. Now, Westlands is a business district. Westlands is synonymous to Santon. But right next to Westlands is a slum. Because of who? Because of rural-urban migration forced. Forcible eviction. They have been moved, first of all, for political expediency, and then you're given money, and then you're left to your own devices. So that's why we don't have any playground in Nairobi. That's why we don't have any public utility land in Nairobi, because there was this influx of rural urban migration forced during the voter transportation, voter importation. So there was that, and then people sasa wanaachwa, wanaambiwa sasa mjipange. Si wewe nimekupatia 2,000 unipigie kura, sasa wewe jipange, tafuta mahali ya kulala, tafuta kibarua. That's how people have immigrated in Nairobi. Look at who, David Mwenje, Maina Commander. That's what they used to do with Kenyans, Kikuyus from Murang'a, from Kiambu. This is how we have slums in Kibera or what? Because the politicians are the ones who move people so that they can have votes. So Westlands being a business district, Westlands should be the most, it should have the, it should be, I don't know whether you guys have been to Santon, you see what a business district looks like. You go to Joburg looks like the ghetto. You go to Santon, you are in a new country altogether. And that's what Westlands should be. But Westlands, it's not. Because Westlands has been encumbered by bad governance since time immemorial. And so my question is, my question is, how long will you keep on pandering to these rural-bred retards? Because you have been subdued, you people who have been born in Nairobi and in urban areas. The ordinary and the can we say the most logical way of migration, Commander shipped more villagers than potatoes in those lorries. Mureithi Kiarie says, now you understand why most affluent areas and estates have slums as their neighbors. It's not a coincidence. And the land where those slums are is public utility land. That's where your football pitch should be. That's where your whatever should be, your social hall, your park. But they brought so this is the work of less than 20 individuals. See, over the last 30 years, this is the work of 20 individuals. And ideally, this is what people should do. Like now, Kibaki was he a Bahati MP or somewhere? He was an MP somewhere in Nairobi or something, and then now he went to Udaya. So if these guys were such geniuses, they would have gone to Vae in their rural areas. But in their infinite stupidity, kazini malori ilete watu Nairobi. And you saw it is very easy. I mean, did you see the number of buses which had ferried people to Langata, to Uhuru Gardens in Langata over Jamhuri Day? So now you understand that you don't need to be subdued Edsore Mwakidedi says, I've been to Santon. It is one of the biggest shopping complex, 2 rivers times 4. Not even 2 rivers is bigger than that, man. 2 rivers is just a small space. But Santon is an entire district. Kibaki was Starehe MP, then Bahati, then Udhaya. So these guys, so what do we do? Let's start importing voters to shore up our numbers. So even you people in the urban areas, now is the time to have this conversation. So that when we are blocking boomers from voting in 2027, we will also be telling people who have been imported to vote so that they can usurp the will of your people. To be vigilant, we are going to have like now neighborhood watches so that we can see who is being chipped in, who is being transported. Kuna huyu ananiita Africa Story, ambia low IQ Watson aache ujuaji, wana simp na kife wapewe kazi na KK government. Barist 254 anasema these are the conversations that matter. Thank you, you're welcome. Listen. I want you to be so vigilant so that even the people over and above us using militant tactics to ensure that boomers don't vote and whatnot, but we can have a conversation, we can trigger and inspire more, we can crowdsource more conversation, more discussions. That why are you voting in Nairobi? Why are you being transported in a bus to vote in Nairobi while you live in Nyeri, while you live in Moy's Bridge, while you live in Molo, and that's where you need good services? So why can't you vote for someone where you live? Because that you need to be engaging him. You tell him there's no road here, there's no drainage, there's no street lights, there's no hospital. So eventually sense will start creeping in the more we talk about the existence of this scourge. But the first time I fronted the idea of the existence of ruralism, which is now consuming urbanism, people are like, no, you're being an elitist. No, it has direct. These guys come, these slum dwellers from Kawangware and Kageni, they come, they are coming to elect Fred Gumo as the member of parliament for Westlands. Now, Fred Gumo, because he's a chokora, his head is nothing in between, the space between his ears, he's just an idiot. So he will not be serving the interests of Westlands. He'll be there just gerrymandering and doing God knows what, doing all the nonsense that you can think of. And so the Westlands people will not be ably represented because there is outsiders who have come to usurp their voting rights without even focusing on nieke mic vizuri. Maybe I'm moving a lot today. Testing 1 2 3. Edewhite, karibu sana. So it's me who is moving. You understand now the threat that is posed. Ken Karoga, karibu sana. Nitabii, si nimeadjust saa hii iko sawa. Not unless you want something else. So you need to understand the threat posed by ruralism. You need Jet Jumbo, karibu sana, you're late. Umechelewa sana. I told you to be putting notifications. Nini mzee bana? You need to understand that there is a direct threat to your existence within your space by this idea of ruralism. Mudhoni na usituambie tufanye mavitu fani leo, please. We have a topic, we are focused on today's topic. Steve Mutumbu, karibu sana. So you need to understand the threat posed. The worst thing about living in Kile is these empty apartments that no one will buy. People used to move to Westi to have a yard and a garage. Ken Karoga, we spoke about that. You're going to watch the repeat. So you understand now, you can connect the dots of what ruralism is doing to you. Now, we have no problem with these individuals. We are asking them, you came here, you were imported here as a voter. Now you have to scram. That's why we have all these unplanned settlements in Eastlands, in Githurai, in where, because all these people were brought, first of all, to vote. And then wakambiwa, they were left to their own devices. You look for work. Where jipange sasa. So you have to cram in a small house and whatever. But you were forcibly displaced from your ancestral home. Why were you forcibly displaced? So that you can come and vote. Now we are telling these people that why don't you then use your power of numbers to go and effect positive change in your rural areas? So if you come from Muranga, if you come from where, instead of voting, if you come from Mandera, instead of voting in Isli, why don't you then plan and say, we are going now to vote and we are supporting this candidate tunaenda kumsimamia? So that we are killing two birds with one stone. We are fixing our urban centers and we are also fixing our rural areas, because we are seeing the money that is going to devolution. We're still hadi watu wanauza jaba bana, and hawkers now are entering. Because of what? Because you've not been electing people who are representing the interests of Westlands. Westlands is a business district. The roads there should be impeccable. That place used to be a hub, nightlife. There used to be like 20 clubs, ukikanyanga tu hivi. Now there is nothing there in Westlands. And so it has been a systemic degradation, systemic downfall. So I need you to tackle this issue of ruralism, not from the lenses, or not from the context of, I don't know. No. You tell your house help. You tell your house help ule anafanya kazi kwako, kama ni Muluya, unamwambia pana, saa hii fanya hivi, nitakupatia ruhusa uende nyumbani upige kura huko, mchaguane vizuri, and na yeye aende ambie wengine. We have all the influencers on board. We have all the musicians or on board. We have everyone on board in this journey too, because everyone is just obsessed 2027 to toe Ruto. You don't understand that the system is rotten top to bottom. The system is rotten top to bottom. So you won't be like our parents who thought that when they were electing Kibaki, now is a quick fix panacea, it's going to be a dawn of a new era. And things were never good under Kibaki as they try to glamorize, because he was working with a corrupt system, a dead system. So we need now to work concurrently. And then now the influencers, we've realized, the gatekeepers, they've been suppressing real merit. That Sophia Nzau is trending, Diplo is playing her in Dubai, she's now on #1 on Spotify list. Then because of jealousy, these idiots, these gatekeepers who have a rural bred mentality, now they start pushing. Jogona Ndongo karibu sana from UK, they start now pushing Christina Shusho. That's sad. That's treasonous. Huh? That's treasonous. As Kenyans now, the momentum for Sophia Nzau has imeshika tu hivi. Sasa tunaanza ati Christina Shusho na mangoma zingine huko. Nyinyi akina Maina Kageni sasa mumezidi sasa, na akina Churchill. You become too much. We've had talent as yesterday we were saying, Camp Mula were a bigger deal than Wizkid. Wizkid alikuwa na waomba kukuwa featured in their album. Somehow all that talent went and disappeared, kwa sababu sasa we have to panda to Tanzania music. Sasa lazima tulete our washamba wote. Ben Githai ati sasa is a factor. He's now he can even influence a presidential election. No, nyinyi watu mumekuwa too much. Na mukiambiwa the idea of ruralism exists, if you are told that that ASAL leaders are gentrifying Isli and Kile and whatever, while their homes are rotting. Awana hata barabara. Garissa, it was an island. Garissa was an island. Wakiambiwa hivyo hawataki kusikia. because pana wewe nini sisi tumekuwa sisi kazi yetu ni kubebea watu wengine mizigo. Hapana, tumekataa hiyo senge katika jina la Yesu. Tumekataa. So is you now to rise up and now confront the people who I'm naming every day. I named Mwalimu Kingangi Churchill. I said Churchill, the people he's been onboarding, there's been an element, it looks like scripted and coordinated, an element of anti-intellectualism. He's the dumbest of the crop. These are the people he's been platforming, he's been giving, or he's been making famous. And so what? So after all of that, have we produced talent that has taken us to the Grammys? No. Have we produced music that has been nominated for or acts that have been nominated for the Oscars? No, because we are not using merit. Meritocracy is not the criteria. It is cartels. It is gatekeeping. Depending on how rural you are, depending on how you can pander to these rural masses, that Samido Atiana can call shots in Nairobi. The people who died ahead, the people who created this culture, this art, wale walikuwa naleta akina Reawats na Jam City, well, those guys must be turning in their graves to see how low we've fallen. That we are having rural bred retards calling the shots. Because you see, with ruralism, it is all about primitive accumulation. Now, as the politicians are stealing from us, they also think that if we kill this guy, if we kill this business, like now, the ASA leaders, they bribe the police to implement alcoblo so that now people can stop going. We can kill CBD and we can buy these properties at throwaway price. You see, that's their mentality. They don't know how to build from scratch and grow. But if we create a scenario where they are compelled, number one, because the anti-corruption levers are working, that they are compelled to work for their people, then they can understand the beauty of starting from scratch and building from the ground up so that we can have successful case stories like Dubai. But now we don't, and we will never, because we are entertaining these people. We are opening doors for them. We are validating their treachery. Michael Kasoa from Edmonton, Canada, thank you very much for the kind words. Today I'm not seeing colors. What's up, my diaspora people? Where are the colors, man? I like to see them blues, them reds, those are beautiful colors to see. Give me some colors, man. Support independent journalism. We told you. So the guy who gave Ruby Rose 62,000 has started changing the story. He started saying, "Oh, I didn't give that money; it was a scripted thing." But the guy has tattooed Ruby Rose on his chest or something. So because there's so much uproar. How chimpanzee can you be to give a chick on OnlyFans $62,000 in 1 month? And we have those people in Kenya. Because you guys have never gone out of your way to say, hey, Francis' TikTok account was banned, can you reinstate it? But you did so for Joki Murira because you want to see Diab. You want to be nyongaing to see Diab. As you're laughing at that guy, please look at yourself. Take a moment to introspect. Take a moment to say, hata mimi ni mmoja wao. Joki Murira cannot have had 2.7 million followers. She's not being followed by chicks. She's followed by dudes. Those dudes, when we are looking for them, when we are doing anti-corruption mobilization and whatever, we can't see them. I told you, the system is wired to make you dumb. The women are donating to church, tithing, pastors, nini, conmen, and the dudes are on OnlyFans and Joki Murira's place. You guys are crazy, man. And you still want us to do the dirty work for you. You see now the hypocrisy of our democracy. The hypocrisy. So, ruralism is not a joke. It is stealing from you. And so, kam tattoos ukikuwa nini, Tambia DJ Adla deal na wewe nonsense. Ruralism is taking from you, and they're taking from you and making you feel guilty in the process. Like now, I used to see those ASAL governors, and then they come for Kenyans for Kenya, and then they start saying, "Oh, please donate," and they've stolen the money. Please donate, you know the people, and then they bring those to videos there of people, hungry people. There's hungry people anywhere, even in Nairobi and whatever. But now they hyper glamorize those to people. They're there, you know, we are hungry, we've not eaten for the last 4 days, you know, it's been raining. Munajijua watu wa ASAL regions, munajijua. You know yourselves. So please, ruralism is a scourge. It has hidden and it has mutated in very many forms. So you'll find it in the corporate sector, you'll find it in the entertainment sector, you'll find it in the religion, especially in religion. You are brought for pastors from the rural areas. Since most of you are religious degenerates, you should compel your church to have pastors from that region. Kama ni pastor akuwe ni wa Nyeri, sio ati pastor wa Murang'a ama pastor wa na huko Rumuruti ati analetwa Nyeri. Akuwe wa huko, because they intertwine and they embed their ruralism in their messaging. Children suffering from kwashiako. They are using Michael Jackson 1984, we are the world strategy. We are tired. Lakini this time round, with the help of the people, the people, we were able to subdue as ASAL governors. Hawakuongea. Raundi hii hakuna mtu alikuwa na time na wao. So nini mnaona kama hii kitu haiwezi fanyika? Si already mshaanza kuambia wazazi wenyu hawatapiga kura. Then right now we start telling the rural bred people who have especially been or they are going to be imported to vote in your urban areas. Mkuwe mumejitengeneza huko, mumejipanga with neighborhood watch. Ukiona basi inakuja kumwaga mtu, munaitwanga na mawe, wanaenda na huko na munawamark. You start now when the process of voter registration watakuja waanze kuletwa, kutaanza kuwa na movement sana. You have people on the ground looking. You have people on the ground looking. You don't people wacha watu wa vote kwao, so that they can elect the right people and hold their governments, their county governments, their MPs, their senators to account. Hii mambo ya voter importation it has really distorted and undermined our democracy. And so now this has to be a joint effort. It has to be a joint venture. Where muko ndani ama muko nje? That's the question. Muko ndani ama muko nje? Because every time naonanga, you'll still see some funny comments, especially on my Twitter. Watu wanaongea hivi nini wanasema, so you wonder, am I preaching to stones or to what? Africa Stories amesema tuko ndani. So people, be serious when you're talking about governance, when you're talking about change. I wish I could speak popular topics. Hapa kungekuwa na 1000 people kama tulikuwa tunaongea mushene. Hapa pangekuwa na watu 1000 wako online hapa saa hii. But tunaendelea tu pole pole, because this is a message that needs to be hammered to people in denial. And then we are talking about people you love. Kama wengi wenyu mnapenda Maina and Kingangi, mnapenda Ghost na Gidi. Our ushamba ndio Radio African ndio has been, I think, our biggest weak link. Has not even gone out of their way to elevate the intellectual disposition of their listeners. They haven't done anything, but wamekuwa tu huyu akitrenda na upuzi. Kama umeona huyu dem anaitwa Masawe Japani, she does the most toxic crap. Unakumbuka siku ile alipeleka mama ya DJ anaitwa na mama ya Jeff, alikuwa ameulizwa kale ka kijana ka ile story ya DJ nani. So you cannot that station, that Radio Africa station has been quite the letdown. Nini inakuanga imesumbua huyo Mugana anaitwa Patrick Waku? We need to find out what agenda he has for Kenya. Then you have these other Kamemes and Inoros wote wanaleta machokora huko wakorino wa Githomo na nini, and so they grab the playground. So on Sundays people are left with no other choice but to go and attend those nonsensical church services with Githomos and who and what not. Kulikuwa na moja Sunday Roiro haiko sangi. Roiro is like the ground zero for all the toxicity ya Mount Kenya. So this has been, it was not an event where it happened to pole pole, and then you see your towns being gentrified by people from not from those areas, and then wanakuja because they have no sentimental attachment with your urban areas. Ndio unaona wanakuja wanabomoa, wanaacha mabarabara hivyo, wanafanya manini, wana grab. I was talking about there is a place in Thika, place called Starehe Juakali, and I saw a building being bomolewed. They had to use even the baruti, the whatever, to those my explosives, because ilikuwa imewekwa chuma zile kali. And that case has been ongoing for 20 years. And when they got the orders, they were final, nyumba ikasema iende chini. And ndio nilisema the arc of the moral universe bends, is long but bends towards justice. So one day hata huyo mtu wa Mount Kenya University, kuna kashamba aliiba kalikuwa kanaitwa Ziwani Playground. When I was young, we used to go to a library place, and there was that Ziwani Playground had a small hotel, ilikuwa inaitwa Kampenda, and I remember we used to love drinking sodas there and mandazi and ng'ombe chapati and whatever. So I remember that place, mahali unaonanga ukienda MKU pameandikwa Chancellor's Towers, hiyo ilikuwa playground inaitwa Ziwani. But because George Maina anasema I voted for Kenya Kwisha shit show, kimenilamba, wacha tu, very clueless leaders, looters tupu. Radio and gambling promotions tutaongea DJ Adla, kwa sababu hizo zimeshika wazazi wetu na wamaguka wetu wako mashambani huko, washenzi sana. So because the owner of Mount Kenya University was not from Thika, he had no socio-economic ties. He didn't feel, hata saa zenye alipata pesa akahamia Nairobi. So he doesn't like the town. Whatever happens to the town, he doesn't care. So kazi yake ni kugrab hapa nini, everything. But people born and raised within those areas, how they've seen it change, they cannot do what is happening right now. They cannot give out their land for this affordable housing. They cannot. So this is it. The people who are coming and benefiting from your towns, and then kuna these businessmen. Kuna mmoja mi ongea juu yake, wana jam wa Thika, huyu wa supermarket ana jam mingi, na watu wake wana jam, wananitumia ma threats na nini. So these guys who come and then they become rich out of nowhere, they become rags to riches stories. Sijui walikuwa mahawkers, walikuwa nini. Those are the guys now who are cannibals. Those are the guys now who feel nothing. Kukata miti, kukula mashamba, hiyo ndio they are most represented there. So it's upon you as Kenyans to understand that we need to preserve our urban areas. Our urban areas, the encroachment, hata vile Karura ilikuwa inakatakatwa, sio watu wa Kiambu walikuwa naikatakata. They cannot do that. They've grown up seeing it. They cannot katakata hiyo Karura forest. They know lakini Kamodho alikuwa ametoka Mathioya. Kamodho was one of the land grabbers of Karura forest. Ametoka Mathioya. Haya, now there is this Kimani Gonjiri, this former Bahati MP, Kimani Gonjiri, accused of killing this Muzungu activist who was protecting a forest in Kiambu. He is not from Kiambu. Unasikia ametoka na huko Bahati, huko Rift Valley. So they don't care because they don't live there. They have no socio-economic ties within that region, so they can come and demolish it. They can come and grab the forest, kukatakata ni dakika moja, because they don't care. So you have to preserve the people who are encroaching in your zones because they come with an agenda. Hmm? Ukienda place kama Githurai, Zimmerman, uone vile kuna kaa hivi hivi. 20 years ago those places were prime, they were beautiful. But because of guys wanakuja wanagrab mahali palikuwa playground pako nini, there are these churches wanakuja wanajenga mabati, wanatupigia makelele Sunday. No, Kenya has gone to the dogs. Hmm? Kenya has gone to the dogs. So once you connect the dots, once you understand that this is what happens with your land, with your public utility land, with everything, once you connect the dots, then you'll be able to appreciate, and you'll now take politics more seriously. You won't think that politics, because they pride themselves in the fact that they have numbers, but they don't have numbers. I told you towns in growing juu as it grow hivi kwa slums. They don't have the numbers. You have the numbers, but you've not been voting. You've not been taking an interest in politics. You've not been engaging with your friends there. Wow, because they are the ones who appear in political rallies and whatnot, wanaonekana pale, and the politicians now start taking them seriously. So even Kenya Power wakienda kukata stima huko kwa maslums, wanaambiwa wewe wache, Kenya Power endeni polepole. Bill tunarushiwa sisi middle class. Bill zao za stima. It's serious, man. It's serious. It affects you directly. And then culturally, they are subjugating us. So they get, because they are able, or they have created the impression that they have the numbers, wanaleta to influencers up also, and then now they have the mainstream media. So our mainstream media have never really supported local art. And local art, I mean the people who have a chance, because Samido will never perform internationally. He can only go to perform to Kenyans in diaspora in America, but he'll never go and perform like, Sophia Nzau will be doing soon. Because he has no talent. He just plays a guitar, he plays a language people don't understand. He's not tuned. His music is not tuned for a universal audience. Wamboi Alice from Norway, karibu sana. Thank you very much for the kind words. So we have gatekeepers in the media. We have all these retards. Akina Maina Kageni moved from one end of the spectrum to another, where they were playing 20 songs on heavy rotation, which was soul. They used to play the same 20 songs every day. And then wanaenda pande ingine now is just interchanging between Christina Shusho and whatnot. And now we can draw a pattern of the cartelism, of the gatekeeping that is there. And so once you understand, you'll be able to confront them and tell them, Mwalimu Kingangi, I don't owe you anything. I will tell you what you knew, what nobody else or what others are fearing to tell you. Karen Nyamu will tell you, who the hell do you think you are to talk about Aluta? I don't like Aluta. I don't like those club owners, but I hate when anyone purports to encroach in people's constitutional liberties. Wamboi Alice amesema, sending my contribution to support independent media. Asante sana. The people, nimeona watu wa Norway, watu wa Nordic areas, hawakuangi na issues sana because of the standard of living in those areas. Maina is coming to Nakuru this Saturday to launch the newest club in town. If you look at that club, you look at who owns it, you'll find a connection in between the other clubs he's been launching and owning. If you looked at the projects he's been selling for real estate, stuff like that, there's all intertwined, and there's all an element of ruralism, because rural people think so highly about or think so highly of Maina Kageni and of Churchill. In Nairobi, they are not really, yes, they'll have some fans here and there, but we don't, hatuwatambui. Ni kama Jay-Z, nasikianga atambulikangi hata huko New York sana. But akakuja Kenya ndio, yeah, that's Jay, that's Jay. Lakini because they have their own issues with him huko za mashinani. So even in Nairobi, the media and the songs that we've been talking about, and we were talking about Just a Band, we were talking about Blinky Bill, we've been talking about these guys who are in the scene, akina Buddha Blaze, akina nani hao wengine mulikuwa munanihesabia jana, akina Karun Camp Mula, Babila Palu amesema amechelewa, amefika. Bro, calculate ita cost mangapi ku set up show vile watu watacall ku invite guests, tutakuchangia. These are people. DJ Adla, chukua contact ya Babila Papu, uchukue contact yake ili tuendeleze. We need to grow, we need to and to move with people who are vinaitwa coalition of the willing, COW. DJ Adla, chukua contact ya Babila Papu ili sasa tuendeleze. So yeah, so we have issues even as we were nani huyu tulikuwa who are the musicians mlikuwa mmenitajia jana? Camp Mula, even Harry Kimani was a good talent that did not hakuflow vile kulikuwa kunatakikana. Then hiyo clique ya kina Just Band ilikuwa inaitwa akina nani? Elani. Those were guys who had potential but they were not being. In fact, Elani paka tulikuja kuona hata wako wanalipwa na Kenya Copyright Board. And Kenya Copyright Board, I'm sure, is populated by those rural bred retards. So will you keep pandering to these rural bred retards because they want you to they want you to Dij was a nice guy. Let's name them we celebrate them. Let's celebrate the people who don't get platformed on those retarded shows by Churchill. Kanji Adonaj, yes. We celebrate them to pay mention hapa because they don't. Who is Kibet? Ulikuwa unasema Chemutai. I think you meant Chemutai Sage. We spoke about her yesterday. Yes, Japolo ndio huyo ameingia. Mudhoni DQ, yes. Abbas Kubaf. We celebrate them because they were deliberately and intentionally blocked by a sterile media environment. Chris Adwa, Kantai. They could have, scaled the height, but kulikuwa na nini? Kulikuwa na artificial blockage. Mahatma, Cannibal, Eric Wainaina. Francis Kimani unaingia saa hii, tapigwa fine my friend. STL. Lakini mumeanza kukanyanga nje. Nataja majina zingine siwezi taja, cannot be. Sijamwambia muende Gengeton, nimemwambia you concentrate on between 2010. Hebu tuone huyu anasema Dij, Elani, Kanji, Sage, Camp Mula, Blinky Bill, STL, Christophe. Those guys were, those guys were, they were FI. Jana tuliongea juu ya FI. FI. They were blocked. Sharik Harib anasema just the band is making a comeback. I wish we are ready. We are ready now. We are tired of listening to this Christina Shusho nonsense. We are tired. No choreography, no intellect, no creativity, just there. Kuna huyu mtu anaitwa Blinky Bill alikuwa anafanya. Blinky Bill Walanguzi, the Bugs, Walanguzi, were they consistent enough? Socially conscious songs hardly get airtime on radio stations. Kazi ni kucheza tu vitu za pombe, bangi na anasa. Musa Mike, the Susanna Awio to some extent. So this music was deliberately suppressed by your program controllers, music, whatever. Hao ndio walikuwa wamekuwa gatekeepers. Now, so since we know the gatekeepers, tumewajua sasa. Si tunawataja. See, we have our own platforms kuwataja na and to tell them that now we are going to use the power of the boycott. Hmm? We are going to use the power of the boycott. Mashifta were ahead of their time. If you listen to their content, they were ahead of their time. There's pia Mwaf hiyo time alikuanga Mwafrika used to have he's the pioneer of underground radio, and that's why out of all the people, he was one of the first people I did an interview with. And he used to platform all these guys, and so I have a lot of just as Kahiga anasema Pinye was a gatekeeper. Pinye na nini na Jimmy Gadu walikuwa gatekeepers. And they promoted my boys to men na manini. They promoted them so much. They were living in utopia. Walikuwa these manini, they were promoting them while we had other kwa fulani, we had all these other people who are trying to break through, but they were cartels. And now it feels so therapeutic when I speak. When I speak, I know that, I even though I have my 100 listeners, I have earned them. I have earned my listeners because they can relate. We were together in the struggle, but perhaps you didn't know I was still going through. I used to go to these TV stations when I was trying to do stuff with Harambee Stars and tell them, please air a game of Harambee Stars. They can't air, but they will take their OB van live waende to a political rally. And so I'm so happy to see them collapsing. So happy to see KTN posting losses on the brink of bankruptcy. Naona Nation. I was always there and I beg, Lina Kaikai, please, Nini. Those guys, I can't stand them now. I'm happy to see them struggling. And we will be there to drive the last nail in the coffin. Africa Stories anasema he's loving the convo from Langata. So you see, now that you can relate, now that you are mature enough, you understand that silence is consent. You understand that the more you keep quiet, the more the establishment has the propensity. They are greedy. It's greedy. They want more and more. It's like your politicians. They just want to keep on grabbing more and more. So me, I was there. I was trying to tell them, yo, Harambee Stars match. Tunaenda huku wananizungusha. I'm so happy to see them going through whatever they are going through. So you understand that these have been the gatekeepers, these have been the cock blockers, these have been the people who have made Kenya reduced our competitiveness in the global stage. Why? Because of hate, because they've morphed into cartels, because wanataka ati wakicheza muziki yako lazima uwalipe. I love what Wakadinali is doing. And they are showing people the middle finger, wanaenda stage kama wamelewa, anasema sisi tumejifikisha hapa tuko. Gatekeeping is a pandemic, is also another pandemic in Kenya. Wivu, lakini ni juu ya hawa watu waocha, because wanakuja wanasoma wanapata tu kazi, so they still want to impose their biases. Wamekuja na zile maubaya walikuwa nazo high school. In fact, the people who are running corporates in Kenya, you should be asking somebody, ulisoma wapi, ulizaliwa wapi? Those are very good questions, because you will know the disposition. You will know huyu mtu anafikiriaje, because they still come to Nairobi with the same biases that they had in high school. In high school, everyone who went to a high school in Kenya, how people from towns were profiled by the people from the rural areas. We are not talking about what. So if somebody is still holding on to those biases, it will then be an impediment in the execution of their mandate in whatever office that you put them in. So if they're in charge of corporate, if they're in charge of what? Huyu mtu amewekwa kwa agency, haya atakuwa anaangalia watu wengine na wivu na chuki. When I used to be a blogger, these guys used to just look at me badly, and I was just trying to make it in a very hostile environment. Lakini ni ushamba, I've come to understand ni ushamba. Wamepinywa akili na ushamba. Anasema Anyiko Woko, another industry corporate plant. That's the stream ameandika hapo. And if we are able to bypass these people, through our self-funded initiatives, we can bypass these guys and then turuke mbele. Turuke mbele. Because even the audiences, even their potential clients don't know the existence of this thing called gatekeeping. They don't know the existence of this thing called ruralism. Why do people in government employ rural people in government offices? Because wanaitananga, wanaitananga. Wewe ukiwa wa Murang'a unaita mtu mwenzako hapo hivyo ni cartel. As long as mtu wa town asiingie hapo, na sisi tunasema these are our resources. If we are from Nairobi, these are our resources. If you're born and raised in Nairobi, these are your resources. Usikuje kuambiwa vile utaishi Nairobi na mtu ametoka Turkana na mtu ametoka Murang'a. Hapana, ni nyinyi mumenyamaza sana, mumeitikia kunyamaza. Leo nimeona Kanjo wanashika mtu na matatu yote imenyamaza. You guys are crazy. I'm pretty sure that Kanjo cannot do the same thing in Kisumu. Because Kisumu, they are the same people and they are united. Huku mko divided Nairobi. Religion has been used to subdue you. The media you consuming every day, munasikiza kina Pastor Nganga, and these are rural people who are meant not to trigger your revolutionary senses. They've come to dumb you down. Ati county commissioner anaweza simama aseme hakuna pake nchini. Ni nani? You should be going there as a form of protest. Munaenda huko munapigwa na munarudi tena. Because these guys wame grab all the grounds in Nairobi. You cannot go anywhere. Even Uhuru Park itself inakuanga imefungwa. So watu wameenda wamejipeleka mahali, bado mnasikia wivu. Hawa wazee wamekuwa washenzi hawa. Useless old bastards. Sijui kama mnawafikishianga hizi video zangu mahali kwanza ninawaita useless old bastards. Hizo video natakanga ziwafikie na amuwatumiangi. Yeah, so habari ndio hiyo. So tumekuwa these are the gatekeepers. We are going to be calling them out one by one. Una gatekeep, sio ati utasaidika, unakula tu mshahara marupurupu here and there, unajifanya gatekeeper. Now we need to tell these people that your time is up. Your time is up. Wakati wa tukisema ati wakati wa Ruto umeisha, pia makartels hizi zingine zenye zimejiform, the ones who have arrested our development, pia hao hao tunawaonyambia even you, your time is up. Prepare. Ruto akienda nyumbani mnaenda na yeye. Ruto akienda nyumbani mnaenda pamoja, because you've been gatekeepers. And then they try to impose, wanataka sijui tumtoto wa kanisa, tumtoto wa geshagi, uto ndio ati now if you're good, ukijifanya ati wewe ni mzuri, if ukijifanya ati wewe you're bootlicking them, now utapewa katrip kamoja na bonfire, now utapewa boycott these companies which are promoting the idea of ruralism and gatekeeping. Boycott them. Ni nini mnayatishangwa nyinyi na ni pesa yenyu? Sio money. Me, I have been such a rebel all my life. Faith Nyawera from Kasarani, karibu sana. I've been such a rebel all my life. Me, I don't believe anyone just because you have money or you are. No, I don't believe in that. Mimi nakwambianga, mi nakupasha what is in my mind. Gatekeeping, even funding for business. Startups huku zinaanguka. Kuna gatekeepers everywhere, juu ya wivu, juu ya chuki. Ideas Kenya, we imagine we are still talking about M-Pesa 20 years down the line, bado tunaongea juu ya M-Pesa. It is a revolutionary app which has come from Kenya. We could be talking about another 100, but gatekeepers ndio wameja. Ukipeleka idea yako Safaricom unapata mshenzi huko anataka kuiba. These guys are crazy, man. Kenya is where startups go to die. Muhandisi Ian amemwambia. Gatekeeping, wivu, nini. But we can bypass all of these, I'm telling you people. We can bypass. We need to create a mechanism that is not dependent on corporate money, that is not dependent on political patronage, where we are surviving, we are running our own programs, we are running our own court cases, petitions, everything. We are running our own media, we are having our own studio. You had Babila Pulas telling me to set up a studio. We are running all of these things concurrently, so that tukiona mtu amekuwa nini, Manuel Ngeno, karibu sana. Tukiona mtu amekuwa stumbling block, once we understand that wewe unaitwa Maina Kageni, wewe ni stumbling block, umekuwa gatekeeper, unakataza muziki ichezwe ili tusikize Christina Shusho, bas hii ndio what we are going to do. We are going to use our numbers to call for boycotts, to boycott even the corporates who are supporting your company. It's as simple as that. I kept telling you people that Samido is a plant. He's a state-sponsored weapon of mass destruction. Yes, Muliona alipewa ile awards zilikuwa State House. You think it's a coincidence, eh? You think these people don't talk behind the scenes, eh? You think they just appeared there out of the blues, or is because of merit? You think he's the best musician? Has he flown Kenya's flag anywhere? No, but he was there being given. Why? Because he has been used. He has been a vessel of the government to perpetrate, to entrench ruralism. So the corporates that he was marshalling there in Parklands, that wasn't his work. That was the work of the state. And that's why I told you, you boycott those corporates. I have listed them in, if you go to my Twitter, you'll see the corporate companies there, the Akina Optiven. You don't go, because they are connected to the states. They are connected to the politicians who are there. Paul Bradley amesema, once I get through LSK, these people will not rest. We can even file a petition to say now here, Maina Kageni, you are first of all, you are working for an organization that has been licensed by the Communication Authority, but you have been entrenching cartelism, gatekeeping, and whatnot. We file a lawsuit to kwani si judge juzi ameweka order ati young people should take care of their parents. Kwani sisi hatuwezi enda tupeleke court case kama hiyo? You understand? So this is it. We create a system where we are not dependent on corporate lunacy. Because these guys, once wamekalia hizo viti, the power gets into their head. They are no different from your politicians. They say, hey, wewe ndio corporate, you've been supporting these idiots, we are boycotting your shit. Unatengenezanga nini? Kwa nini wewe tu unatengeneza? No, let's go to the other one. All the influencers now have adopted a Geshagi Act so as to appeal to Geshagi people. Me, I don't like that Geshagi Act. And why are you appealing to Geshagi people while in Nairobi there is at least 100,000 urban people? At least you can appeal to those ones first. You guys be serious. You guys, don't joke around with life. You have Shakes McKenna is telling you we have the tools, we have the numbers. The enemy is mass destruction. Sharib nasema worked at Kengen Olkaria for a while, ndio nilijua empowered villagers ni cancer hatari, especially when they join forces. Yes. So you have the tools, you have the numbers. Huyo anaitwa mhandisi Ian anasema, Gaitho, thanks for improving the quality of our online conversation. Initially it was all about who is sleeping with who and other goat matata stories. Asante sana. He has supported amerusha kakitu in support of independent journalism. So we should not be subdued. It is sasa now you're being forced to be humble. You're even being forced, you are tithing to church to because of rural people. And then you're now unakuja unaambiwa utole pesa za watu wa Asal region na wako na pesa ya devolution. You have been forced to you have been subdued into silence because of your stupidity. Now, can you say you are going to do away with your stupidity in 2024? You're going to escalate. You're going to be a better version of yourself. You're going to consume liberating content. George Kim sasa ndio unafika kutoka Kamakis. Now you have to take it a notch higher. You have to put your money where your mouth is. You can't just be there. And you can see these guys want to send us to oblivion. They want to make us extinct. Why? Hatujakosea mtu. I've always been a creative guy. Mimi hakuna I've knocked doors. I'm tired of knocking. That's why munanionanga I'm so aggressive like this. But it's, if I sit down and tell you the crap that I've gone through, pitching proposals to people, fanya hivi, nobody. It's not that I've seen ideas of mine being implemented much later, but then nilikuwa nimezipatiana huko a long time ago. So now I'm saying I'm tired, man. Now aren't you guys tired? You're being forced to listen to the same 20 songs by Radio Africa Group. Munaona hapo, mnaenda Masawe Japani analeta Mama Jeff, and then they script wanaweka ule DJ pale, wanaanza kufanya maupuzi hapo. Why are you allowing people to run over you, people who don't who you don't live off? Nini nyinyi mumejibeba hivyo? Nini Ministry of Tourism hawana international department aje? Nini mumebebwa malenge hivyo, mumebebwa maziwa mala hivyo? Gatekeeping has been with us. Vile umeona Ruto wanarudia mambo ya Moi, ndivyo media sasa watarudia mambo ya gatekeeping na upuzi. Hiyo story ya Christina Shusho imenibo. Kabisa. Because I knew our watu, they are trying to, because Sophia Nzau doesn't come off as mtu wako, because her husband is her manager, so she doesn't come off as somebody who is ready to bend over backwards asainiwe, because all of these radio guys, they also do side hustles, wanasign musicians and whatnot. So because they are not able to profit or to exploit her, then wanamsuppress. Now sisi tunasema, my friend, kakangu, this is a new era, my friend. Tunapita na wewe. Tunapita na wewe raundi hii. You are gatekeepers hapo, and then mnaingia kwa serikali, bado mnatumiwa kukuja kutuhadaa, kutugawanyisha na kutupatia mastori, cock and bull stories. We are going to expose you people. I don't know why these people think that we are joking, but I think we need to send them a message that we are serious. Sasa nimekaa hapa what I've stayed here 1 hour 20 minutes. Nimemkaisha ya kutosha. Mlikuwa naona at top tulikuwa 200. So santi kwa wenye the people who are supporting me, supporting independent journalism, independent analysis. We are tired of the same. The first time I started trending, everyone thought now ati sasa nitaanza kushikana na my influencers, sasa tuanze no. Because the misconception is I started doing this yesterday, because very many people did not know me or know what I've done behind the scenes. So everyone thought that nitakuja then ni sell out, nianze sasa kukimbiza. No. Sahi, we are not begging for anything. We are not begging for what's ours. We are not in this country by error. Amesema hiyo story ya moral injury was enlightening. Nani amesema? Eric Dolphy. Uliona even David Ndii alikuja kunitusi juu ya hiyo story, nikajua imewaguza, imewafinya pale ndani in the inside. Discount Hub anasema if Zao is talented she'll make it. No, we don't want to take any chances. And we are not only talking about her, she's already made it. Now we are talking about the other Zaos who are still. Ian Gogi, thank you very much from the United Kingdom. The colors, nimemwambia hizi ndio rangi zinatakikana kuonekana wakati tuko kwa live. Those beautiful colors. Sijui leo mumezikalia sana, sijui labda mumekujiwa kama nyako huko, umefanywa kinyako hizo area. So it's not about Sophia Nzau. We are using her as an example because it's the most relatable and most recent, and she's already made it. Hata kama we did not give the thrust that she really needed, she's already made it. She's already made it. So we are looking at other Sophia Nzaus ili yani ikue tu chain, tuna kuna nini mali safi iende chain kusongesha kupitisha. So it's not that Sophia Nzau already make it huyo mahali yako wako sawa. She doesn't even need those Maina Kagenis and Churchills and their Christina Shushos. She doesn't need them. But now we are looking at others wako wengi, because and that's the problem of you not coming to my lives frequently, because yesterday we were saying that Camp Mula were a bigger group than Wizkid, but somehow Wizkid now is a global superstar and Camp Mula were split because our problems are internal. Brayo Slovakia, karibu. Our problems are internal: gatekeeping, corporate cartels, agency cartels, media, airplay atipale. You must sleep with who, you must bribe who. No, as we are saying, no, Bana, you've had your run. Now we are having good conversations, and let me tell you, there is nobody who is too big enough to fall. Tunaona sahi KTN, they are surviving at the masses, at the good graces of government bribes. Esther Mudhoni from Canada, Asante sana. Francis Kimani anasema a show with a difference. So there is nobody who is too big to fall. Amesema Francis Muholo, amesema I'm late for this sermon. We in it. Angalia M-Pesa for small coins, kunywa dawa asubuhi. Asante sana. Hao ni watu wenye wanafanya nikuje kila siku. So cartels, nobody is too big to fall. They still think people are Daniela. Nigerians are better musicians. Their music is played all over New York. Well, can we try and give the undiscovered Kenyan talent a chance? Can we? Can we? Because me, I know Nigerians, they used to come and onboard their music from Kenya. Why? There is a reason. Because they knew that Kenya has a vibrant internet ecosystem. Kalamashaka used to perform in Lagos back in the 90s. They used to, kama kuna huyu mtu alikuwa anaimbanga hii ngoma, if you think this song about this girl, it is what it is. Si alikuwa amekuja Kenya hapa kufanya ma video na ma dancers wa Kenya. Why? He hadn't come for a concert. Alikuwa tu anakaa hivyo ma vibes na why? Here we have the most vibrant. We can propel anyone if we just unite. Kenyans on Twitter, Kenyans on TikTok. Lakini we are divided. Huko kuko na ma state agents wako huko, kazi yao ni kutudivide. But the good thing now is now we remove the wooden goggles. Now we can see where ni wewe, you've been the cause of our misery. Yeah, ni wewe. Sawa. Burna Boys played to a sold out stadium. Sauti Sol wouldn't be. Who is talking about Sauti Sol, bro? Sauti Sol, they've run there. We are now talking about new people. We are not talking about a new age. We are now talking about a new vibe, not Afrobeat. We don't have to compete with Afrobeat. We have new genres. We can create our own genre. I love the South African Amapiano guys. Them, they don't care. Them, they just sing in their own language, and we love their music. And we don't have to aspire to sell to O2 Arena or to sell Madison Square Garden. I don't know what. We are not competing. Everyone has there's enough for everyone. If you know, there's a saying in Kikuyu, it says, that means cows in a field will never maliziana the grass. However number of cows, however small that place is. Inakula hapa, by the time inaenda pale inakojoa panamea evil like that. So we are not competing. Who says that we are dreaming of kicking Burna Boy out of business? He's already made it. So can we create another stream so that the now more talent can move up? And what is the problem with the what is the hindrance? What is the blockage? Kenyans don't have deep musical culture like Discount Hub. No, you're becoming toxic. So we don't have, I will not subscribe to this self-defeatist mindset. I will not. We have to have a winning mentality, abundant life. We have to have it. We have to espouse it. We have to be confident in it, that we can make it. And we have already seen we have already seen examples. So who are you to come and tell me that Kenyans, we don't have the talent? No, we have the talent. Everyone had been talking about M-Pesa for the last 20 years. I went to an international forum of fintech, and 75% of the 1.5 hours that we were there, they were talking about the Kenyan M-Pesa. What are you coming to say that we don't have talent? We have. There is a reason why the white man left all these structures to keep us oppressed, so that we can't compete, so that we can't scale. We can't scale the heights. So me, I will not subscribe to these lies. We have, if we are talking about coffee, we have the best coffee in the world. But we have to love, before other people love us, we have to love ourselves. And so we have to get rid of these gatekeepers who, like now, we've been talking about Radio Africa, Kiss, Classic. They've just been playing the same 20 songs on heavy rotation for the last 20 years. They have suppressed even the idea of diversity. For us to remain sane, we have had to block all those. That's why I'm so confident speaking them, because I know I will never listen to those guys. I never want to meet them. I never even want a favor from them. I have made it this far without them. If that's the kind of attitude I want you to have, so that when you're hustling, you're not hustling thinking, oh, I want to appeal to this guy. I want to appeal. No. There is people with talent. They're being blocked by the system, from the government to the private sector. In fact, we've come to see that the corruption in private sector is worse than the one in government. Mtu hapa anakuja kutuambia Kenyans don't have, I don't know, Burna Boy. Nobody is competing with Burna Boy. Diamond was back up for P Unit at the first Mamas Award. Skiza. And where is he now? He has na views mingi anatoanga wapi? Si anatoa huku Kenya. Spicy D 254, thank you very much. Si Diamond anatoanga views zake Kenya. Forget nini views zake za YouTube zinatoka Kenya. They use Kenya as the springboard to success. Na wanaacha watu wetu huku. Hapana, tanyinyi tumekuwa too much. Because of what? A few gatekeepers who want to entrench their ruralism and their inherent stupidity. Churchill amekuwa na show for the better part of the last 15 years. Has he done anything? Has he said that now we produce the talent from this conveyor belt, we've produced somebody who has been nominated for an Oscar. No. Lupita si alikuja kuanza career yake huku akifanya that MTV show ilikuwa inaitwaje? She's a Kenyan first of all. She's a Kenyan. Secondly, she acted with akina nani huku, akina Nick Mutuma and who was. So the talent is there. Lakini Lupita, for her to go to the next level, there has to have been some behind the scenes. Inaitwa sugar, yes. Naomi is reminding me. So there has to have been some behind the scenes connection. She's lucky because she possesses them. Maybe she went to the right schools, the right what. Now it doesn't mean that that the people she was acting with are any less of human. She's gone on to win an Oscar. So we have the talent. Why are you believing somebody who is telling you that no, we cannot play Kenyan music? You know, Kenyan music is nonsense. Can we now move, if you're in corporate and you're watching this, if you're in corporate and you're watching what we are having, can you now move? Because I saw on Twitter, there's this bigwig anaitwa Osama Otero, and he pushed out a tweet akasema there's a corporate who is looking for an influencer who can push, I don't know, this brand and what. And I'm like, that's a lazy brand manager or corporate manager or an agency manager, because you're not supposed to be asking like that. You're supposed to be head hunting. You're supposed to see huyu mwenye anapushi content tunaezana, huyu anaweza pushi, then unampatia offer, then ana move. You're supposed to move from sorting CVs to head hunting talent that exists in the villages. That's what I saw nani Clemo akisema akitafuta major alienda sijui Nyeri. He used to be head hunt when he could those days. Sasa naona anafanyia Sakaja kazi, but yeah, this is it. You start head hunting people. You start scouting. You cannot be there waiting for what will let a CV. That's not the best talent discovery mechanism. Yeah, so please, man, gatekeepers exist. They are blocking you. They are blocking your friend, your cousin, your what. So you have the power. Stop listening. If you're in a matatu and they are playing classic and they are listening to William Tuva, is the biggest culprit in our music industry. He has been promoting bongo music like nonsense. Wendy, thank you very much for that comment. I've had it before. William Tuva is a disgusting piece of shit wherever he is. He needs to be out of radio. The sooner he is, the better. He can go to Tanzania and get employed there. Because now we are talking about things which are borderline treasonous. Huyu anaitwa Francis, I have sent support. Duncan Mushina watching from the UK. Thank you very much. Santi sana for the people who are supporting independent journalism, independent analysis. This gatekeeping, it has severe ramifications, and these are people who you should not be even celebrating anywhere. Hawa sio watu wa maana. These people have undermined our competitive edge as a country. And we are not saying that Tanzanian music is bad, but when some element of cartelism and gatekeeping emerge, that now you are blocking this one because unakula kwa hawa, kuna venye uko ndani, then we are going to call you out, my friend. Kwani wewe ni nani? You're going to call you out. Kuulize wewe ni Mkenya kweli? Are you a Kenyan? Are you breathing Kenyan air? You're breathing Kenyan air. Uko na sisi. Siku ile utakufa ama watu wako wafiwe, ni sisi tutatengeneza WhatsApp group tukuchangie. Tukuchangie sisi. Alafu wewe when you're at your peak, when you're at your best, you don't want, but when you come down sasa ndio unatutafuta. Hapana, no. This is rubbish. Our enemies are within, and I told you, self-hate is a colonial construct. The Muzungu left all the structures intact to ensure we don't make the quantum leap. Now, if we are in 2023 and you haven't seen through, the people around the world wanaona vile Israel, they had public support, but even now Joe Biden is telling them you are losing support. We are incapacitated. We cannot help you because you are killing too many Palestinians. You are killing too many Gazans. You've killed 18,000 of them. That's a genocide. So, and the world has realized that, we have to be on the right side of history. So if up there, cartels are falling. And so Oprah tried the other day to raise money. Oprah was the person who, Akina Caroline Mutoko used to live and die for Oprah. But she tried to raise money for Hawaii fires. They're like, you're the one who is starting this fire because you're forcibly displacing us because you want to acquire our land. There's no difference between what Oprah is doing in America to what the ASAL people are doing in Nairobi, where they bribe the police to erect Alcoblo so that you can forcibly displace the people who own the property and you can acquire them at a throwaway price. You see how ruralism affects. You find people in their domain, in their forte, and then you want to forcefully evict them. You want to forcefully displace them. And so you have to resort into these inhumane, in these animalistic strategies like burning homes. You have to resort to that so that you can get a head start. You can be in the forefront. No, man. You guys, you have to be serious with life. You have to stop entertaining nonsense. And the people who are blocking you, there is no difference. And if people have already cancelled Oprah, she has the clout, she has the word, probably from around the world. But America hana say. America hesitisha mtu. America, nobody has time for her. So if they've cancelled her because they can connect the dots, huyu ni yeye alifanya hivi akafanya hivi, why aren't we doing the same here? If we're talking about William Tuva, he at the expense when he was at his peak. Now we don't care about him. We can, if we want to see music, we just go to YouTube and whatever. But at his peak, at his prime, that's his legacy. You have to keep on reminding him that when you were at your high, you had the opportunity to open doors. You chose to do this. You have to keep on reminding them so that they will not live in peace. Kina Caroline Mutoko have been on radio. Haizi kakuonyesha a Kenyan musician who she has platformed or what. By then she was calling, alikuwa naongea tu hivi, the society trembles. What did you do with power at your peak? What did you do with it? No, I endorsed Uhuru. No, I don't. You see, these things will come to eat them much later in life. These things, everyone must pay. Everyone must answer for every choice that you have made in life. I was talking about Karen Nyamo, who's very frustrated ever since they broke up with Samido. She's very angry and she's going to say, oh, Aluta must fall down. She's projecting and she's venting and she's letting us, into her weaknesses, her questionable choice of men, her poor life choices. You see, you have a momentary, once you go and husband snatch and you do this, you'll have that peace and whatever. But at the end of the day, when you go and sleep, it will start affecting you. It will start eating you up. And so you will always be a toxic person around your environment. And now the culprit is who? Aluta. Aluta has been there. Alikuwa amenyamaza. Edwin Joroge anasema Fred Machoka, go home. Some JKA graduate can host Rumba. So you become toxic to your environment because of your choices. So don't let these people who have clout come and now make you feel guilty for their poor life choices. It's them to deal with their demons. It's them to confront. Their mistakes. They shouldn't load it on you as we are charting a new destiny for the country, setting us on a course, on a new trajectory, eliminating the entry barriers in corporate, in media, in what? Because we are tired of these people. Now we know you can monetize, you can upload your music on Spotify, on YouTube, you'll make something. So even if you have even just 10,000 streams, at least it's better than nothing. So other people are famous and broke, but you, at least, even if you have your 10,000 streams on Spotify, at least you've made something. So people have understood that if now I'm on Spotify and I have this group of people, then that's all. And instead of these guys seeing and getting with the program and adapting, they are still maintaining their long-held biases, long-held mediocrity. And so we are saying enough is enough. Gatekeepers will be called out. When we are going to boycott your businesses. Now I've been told low battery, so hata nimemweka hapa 100 minutes. 100 minutes. Nimemweka sana, but the video will be available on replay. Share the video once it's uploaded, share it. So that this message, once it gets to 10,000 people, 20,000 people, there's some change. And they will know that they let them get with the program. If the rest of the world is changing, if the Israel war, the propaganda trajectory is not the same as previously. If on a high level like that, they can, Joe Biden can go to Middle East and nobody sees him. Nobody, no other head of state sees him there because they are tired of his crap. If they can reach to such a realization, then who are we? Uncle Polly ananiambia kuna impact kwa ground. Asante sana, Mungu ambariki. Kabattery mumeona saa zenye imehang kidogo, ni battery ilikuwa inaniambia battery low. So thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow I may not come, but we can try see on Monday. Unajua tunaenda masiku kuu sasa sijui vile tutapanga hizo masiku. So anyway, cheers, thank you very much. Santeni sana. We've been quite a sizable crowd, so let's keep on going, let's keep on sharing the link. Leo mumefikisha 146 likes, hata mjafikisha so 2. Nini mko na chuki hivi na likes? Mko na nini na likes sana? So pale X, I continue posting on X, on Instagram, Telegram. There is also Francis Gaido channel on Telegram. So cheers. TikTok tu ndio siko huko, msinitafute. Nilisema kazi yangu sio kufunguanga account because they banned me. Na wanarudisha Njoki Morira because they want to dumb the men down so that you can be in a constant state of erections. Hampering your visibility and your mental capacity. So anyway, kwaherini sana, santi.